Hi, second grade. We are on chapter 5 of 8 class pets plus 1 squirrel divided by 1 dog equals chaos. And this chapter is called The School of Neon Tetras. Third grade fish. Right here. We are in a school. We are in a school in a school. We are tickled by that idea. The people who come to look at us call us neon tetras. We don't know about that. We just know that we are. Each of us has a bright blue stripe and bright red stripes. We shine in the dark. We are very beautiful. Even one of us would be very beautiful, but we aren't one. We are a school. We live in the water, of course. We don't understand how other creatures live out of the water and breathe the air, but some of them do. Our water is surrounded by glass that gives it a square shape. Living in the water with us are some plants and a catfish who eat the slime off the sides of the glass. She does not have blue stripes. She does not have red stripes. She is not beautiful, and she doesn't have much to say. But she does keep our water clean. Sharing the water with us, but not living, is a shipwreck and a miniature man with a treasure chest that opens and closes. In the treasure chest are sparkly gems. On the floor of our square pond are sparkly stones. Neither the gems nor the stones are as sparkly as we are. We dart back and forth in our glass-enclosed pond and around the shipwreck. We are a school. Outside of the glass that forms the boundary of our pond is a man who feeds us fish flakes and frozen brine shrimp. Yum! Frozen brine shrimp. There are also little men out there who press their faces on our glass. Our man who feeds us calls these little men boys and girls. He says to them, boys and girls, do not tap on the glass, do not lean on the cart and make it move. Sometimes they do anyway, when he's not looking. When they do, we dart back and forth. Our favorite part of the day is global studies. The globe the little men study is a big round thing that shows the world. Most of the world is water. That idea tickles us. So beyond our pond, there is a room with the man and the little men and the globe, and beyond that there is more glass, which is called windows. Beyond that glass is the world, and now we have seen on the globe that most of it is water. One of the air breathers who sometimes looks through the window is a creature that calls himself Squirrel. One day the squirrel came swimming through the air into our room. He came with another creature, a small white creature with a long pink tail. But they were not in a school, because they were not the same. They did not look the same, and they did not move the same. The squirrel said, "Help, the dog is going to eat us." We said, "There is protection in a school." The second creature, the one who is not a squirrel, put his ear up to the glass that protects us from the air. We said again so that he could hear, "There is protection in a school." The non-squirrel repeated this for the squirrel. The squirrel said, "What?" We said, "When you swim in a school, only some get eaten while the rest stay safe. You need to find a school." When his friend told him this, the squirrel said, "Neither one of us wants to get eaten." A creature bigger than either of them entered the room. Bigger often eat smaller. This big creature said, "Stop running, you sorry waste of fur." The squirrel darted in one direction, and the squirrel's friend darted in the other. "In a school," we told them. The big noisy creature followed the squirrel, knocking into one of the desks where, during the day, one of the little men sits. The desk tipped over, and books and paper and pencils fell out. The big noisy creature continued to follow the squirrel. The big noisy creature had something trailing from him, the way sometimes a crab will have seaweed trailing from itself. It was long and white, and it got wrapped around things, and it knocked over a big plant by the man's desk. Dirt and leaves fell out. The big noisy creature tried to follow the squirrel up onto the man's desk, and that sent more books and papers and pencils onto the floor. A picture of the man's family fell as well, and his souvenir mug from Marineland, which looks like a wondrous place. The squirrel went up the stand that holds the globe, but then he stepped onto the globe. The globe spun, the squirrel flew through the air and landed onto the noisy creature's head. The big noisy creature was so startled he made his own water right there on the floor. The squirrel and his friend darted out the door. "In a school," we called after them. The big noisy creature followed them. But the long white thing was not seaweed. That was not seaweed must have gotten wrapped around the cart that makes our pond move, the cart that the little men are not supposed to lean on. We began to move, dragged by the big noisy creature. Our pond swayed and bumped behind him as he ran. We continued to swim, safe in a school, in a school. Can you figure out what the long white thing that was not seaweed that got wrapped around the cart that was attached to the big noisy thing? What do you think that is? All right, answer the questions on the link below. Bye, everybody.